But then we got to the men's 5,000 and, it was slow. 13:26 winning time. And I just thought we saw the men's 10K. Jonathan Gold's in the pre-meet coverage is like, there's never been the same result. 5. So men's 10 was Nico Young, Grant Fisher, Graham Blanks. And I was like, yeah, what have we been seeing? Whoever leads loses. So I'm like, Fisher's not going to lead this race. He's already made the team in the 10. He's going to think, I'm not doing this again. I'm not going to push the pace. Other guys will outkick me. I'm confident I can still kick for top 3 anyways. Plus, it doesn't really matter if I don't make it. I'm already in the 10K team. And I was right about that. And I know that Harvard's coach, Alex Gibby, Graham Blanks' coach, he coaches those guys never do any of the work, not an ounce of the work, ever. So I'm like, well, Blanks isn't going to push it. And I certainly didn't expect Nico Young to push it because he never pushes it either. So I'm like, he's got 350 mile speed. So I was kind of thinking like, this is going to be prisoner's dilemma. Who's going to push it? And I was thinking to myself, well, if we get to 1,000 to go, Blanks is the one should push it because he's going to get screwed if he's just sitting around. And that's exactly what happened. Like nobody pushed it. Now at the beginning of the show, we said, well, someone's like, well, Cole Hocker led. Yes, he technically was in the lead. There's a difference between being in the lead and leading. He had an easy trip, was running less ground and everyone at like 13:40 pace. That's not hard. And it was slow enough that when push comes to shove, your champion is Cole Hocker. He runs, it wasn't even hard. Here's his last 4 laps, 64.3, 63 flat. If I tell you they're on 13:40 pace with 2 laps to go, who are you going to pick? You're going to pick the Olympic 1,500 meter champion. He goes 60.1 and 51.76. So this is why I don't like the 5,000 as a championship race because it turns into who's the best 1,500 meter runner. And this is why Jakob's unbeatable at it because you don't push the pace, it turns into the 1,500. But these guys realize if I do any work at all, I'm also screwed. So I'm not going to do any work. So congrats to Hocker. I think that to me, I don't really care about him running the 5,000. The guy who I think should run the 5,000, and I think Jared Naguse has a much better shot of winning an Olympic gold in the 5,000 than he ever does in the 1,500. Maybe that's a strong statement, but that's my bold take for the day. But I would like to see Jared try this. But to me, the Cole stuff was kind of overrated. I'm like, if they make this honest, he's going to get dropped. But I think it's fun that he's doing this and he's motivated. He loves to run. He's the Olympic 1,500 meter champion. He's not resting on his laurels. He wants to do 2 events. That part of it is fabulous. He's not thinking, oh, I can only fail. He's like, I want another event. I want another challenge. So kudos to you, dude. You took down a Diamond League winner. You took down an Olympic medalist in this event. You took down the best of the best in this event. But the other guys, hey, man, you asked for it because you were all cowards. Now, I say coward in a nice way. If I was coaching them, I would be Alex Gibby and say, Graham, don't do an ounce of work. Now, maybe if it goes this slow, I'd have to tell him, hey, you got to do something. But what did you guys think of this one?
Well, first of all, you're just acting like, oh, yeah, they just let it hang slow and he just blasted them and it was inevitable. Did you watch the race, Robert? Cole Hocker got gapped at the bell and he was 7th at the bell. This wasn't like, oh, he had it all easy. Clearly he had the best kick in the field. But, even if you're watching at 200 meters, you're confident he's going to win that race. I wasn't. He was getting gapped. And I think what's really brilliant about it is the way he approached it. He just said, look, I know these paces. Like, I was pretty confident in a slow. First of all, I thought it was very smart of him to control the race because he said, I think I went to the front and, a slow race suits me. He didn't want it to be just totally jogging, but he's like, if I keep it a little bit active, if someone wants to pass me, fine, but I'm fine just leading if it's a little bit slower pace and keeping it that way, which was great. Grant Fisher wanted to take the lead with the K to go. Like, he was trying to move out and was just boxed and could not get out for like a lap and a half. So that's why I was wondering, because that's what Grant Fisher always does. He takes off with between a mile and a K to go. Didn't do it this time because of his positioning. And Hocker, I said, like, you let this gap form. Like, is there any doubt in your mind at all? And he was like, no, I know what pace I'm running at. I could sense that they're going a little bit too fast. And I knew I could close this last lap in like 50, 51 seconds. So if they can do better than that, good on them. They deserve to beat me. They couldn't, and they did come back, and he closed in 51.76, which is almost a second faster than anyone else in the race. Drew Hunter actually had the second best lost lap, 52.70. But yeah, Cole needed a little fortune with the rail, because everyone just ended up leading. It was the C's were just parting for him on the last 150. And Nico Young on the final straightaway, he drifts out. There's room for Cole to come through. But the rail often does open up. So
I mean, Cole found that out. I think he's going to get in trouble at Worlds in one of these events. I mean, at 5K, who knows what will happen. But I don't know if you can always rely on the rail opening up, but at the Olympics it sure did, and it did today. If he stays boxed in, I don't think he wins it. And Robert, this one was totally in doubt. I mean, Cole was like one spot ahead of Graham Blanks at the bell. Graham Blanks finished 13th place.
Disappointing run for Graham. 15th place for Sam Gilman. Extremely disappointing for him as well. But I'm not saying that it wasn't in doubt at the time watching it, but I'm just saying in hindsight, this seems foolish.
Well, right.
We learned last year, though. Look at the trial. I went into trials thinking, oh, Cole Hocker, he's the 1500 guy. He's just going to blast everyone. He was 7th in the trials. It's not like this was the predict. Am I stunned that Cole Hocker, the Olympic 1500 champion, outkicked everyone in a tactical race? No, but I didn't predict it beforehand either.
And it was interesting also because, like, yeah, Hocker was saying, I know I could run 51. If they can run 50, good on them.
But plus, these other guys, you see it in miles. When races are tactical, people misjudge their kicks, and they often go way too fast in the first 200 of the last lap compared to the last 200. Cole Hocker really was the only one that got it right. So he went 13:23, 12:86, 13:06, 12:63. So his last 200 was 25:69. Like, whereas these other guys, Grant Fisher was going 13:2, 13:1, 13:4, 13:2. So, you know, their last 200 was slower than their first 200. You know, got to feel a little bit for Drew Hunter. I mean, this was a high school, you know, he was a high school star who I think from a financial standpoint made the wise choice and got just a shitload of money to go pro out of high school. And, you know, made one team back when people couldn't get the standard, but really hasn't been in the mix for the last couple of years. Has been like 4th. He had a great last lap, 13:27.16. He's only 0.11 behind Nico. But, you know, when you look at it, 2 of the big 3 in terms of Fisher, Young, and Blanks got on this team. And I think that Grant Blanks is flawed as a 5,000 meter runner right now. His just kick isn't quite there. I know he made the Olympic final in this event, but I think he's better suited for the 10,000 right now. So if I tell you it's a slow race and someone's going to make it, you're probably going to bet Hocker. Now, what do we think Hocker can do in the Worlds if you're in that final?
Well, to me, it's almost the exact same. It's the same principles as Jakob Ingebrigtsen. It's like if the race is a certain fast pace up front, he might have some difficulty. But if it's a race like this, no one's going to let it go this slow at Worlds for this long because he obviously could win it.
Right.
Jakob would even take it before then and start pushing, I think. So I think you'll probably see a push out from like 1,200. Even Grant wanted to do it today.
Grant would, yeah.
Like, I think at Worlds, it's a different mindset. Today, they're playing with house money to some extent, like Grant and Nico and Graham, and they're focused on top 3, not necessarily winning. At Worlds, I think Grant's going to be thinking, you know, I want to try to win these things. Obviously, Cole, that would be his goal as well. And it's just not going to come down to final lap.
Well, my other concern is I asked Cole what was the difference between last year, where you're only 7th on a contention for the team, and this year winning. And he thought, well, he said last year I had to run 5 races at the Olympic trials. This year I only had to run 3. And guess what he's going to have to do with the World Championships? He's going to have 3 rounds of the 1500, and then he's going to have to do a prelim in the 5K and a final in the 5K. So the 5K final will be his 5th race in 9 days. I'm concerned that we'll see what happened to him with the trials, because that is a lot of racing and it's going to be a tough 1500. If he was just going and running the 5K fresh in Tokyo, I think, yeah, he might be a medal contention. But I'm cautious on his chances in the 15.
We also shouldn't forget Cole went over to Stockholm or to Stockholm, right? And didn't run very well. So like, I think in a 1250 type race or more of a wind up, I'm still not convinced he's there. Like, this race really was slow and sort of came down to a final 800.
Some people are wondering if Hocker's going to drop the 5,000. No chance he drops it because he made the team and it's after the 1,500. Now, I do think that the number of races is an interesting concept of how he'll do. I think, look, if you're a Hocker fan, and John and I keep saying, like, there really is no favorite for the 1,500 Worlds, but we keep thinking that Hocker's going to win, and people keep pushing back against John and me. Like, this was a big win for him because he said people were making fun of the comment. He said, "Oh, the 1,500 yesterday was the easiest race I've ever run." People go, "Why didn't you win it? You're only third." But this is a good sign that he's feeling fit, he's confident, and whatever. So let's keep moving on. The next up races were
Wait, one more thing on Nico Young. I talked to Nico after. He's a little subdued. John, do you see him? Like, and I was like, is this because you have such high expectations? And I mean, he's progressed so much this year. And he said that was some of it. But he's like, I would think in a race like this, I could close in 52 seconds. It wasn't there. He ran 53:27 the final lap. But I think at World's faster races, both him and Grant Fisher are medal contenders in both in the 5 and the 10.
Yeah, no, this is, I mean, across the board, just the strength of the U.S. teams and the men's distance events is absurd this year.